Good afternoon, yogis. Welcome to the mat. And thank you for showing up and loving on your body and taking care of yourself. Today we'll be doing probably a 20 to 30 minute yin yoga flow. This is quite a bit different than a normal vinyasa flow, to where we'll be using gravity as opposed to muscle to get into these poses and stay into them for a little bit longer than a vinyasa flow. We're trying to get to the connective tissues of our body, our ligaments, our tendons, and not so much the muscles. And just remember, we're not trying to overwork our body or overextend our joints. If you feel pain, a sharp pain specifically, ease out of the pose and back up to where it feels comfortable. If you have a block or a pillow or a bolster, I suggest you go ahead and pause the video and get that now. And if not, let's begin. We're going to come around, get into a tabletop position, and ease back into hero's pose. And just roll our wrist around. I like to warm up the wrist just a little bit to take care of our wrist. So while we're moving around from pose to pose, and you place your hands on the ground, your wrists are nice and strong, supple. Ease back around to your sit bones. And right here is where a bolster, or I have a large couch cushion, will come in handy. You can use another couch cushion if you like, but what we're going to do is a seated forward fold. And we want to sit comfortable and relax. Extend the spine. Just let your feet fall out open. You do not have to hold them up. This is all about just relaxing into the pose. You want to breathe in, extend the spine, and gently fall forward from the hips. And just sit here and relax. And let gravity do its thing. If you're uncomfortable on the heels and there's too much tension on your heels, bring them back into the mat. Or place a nice little towel or a rag up under them. It's going to be here for about 20 to 30 breaths, so we need to be comfortable. And focus on your breath. For myself, I usually take around 8 to 9 breaths per minute if I'm slowly breathing, and nice long inhales and nice deep exhales. So about 30 to 40 breaths is what we'll do for each pose. And just relax. You can rest your head down on your forehead. It's nice to curl the spine. And the back of the neck. And the breath is a vital part of yoga, in yin yoga especially. Breathe energy into those areas of our body that are lacking or hurting or just tense. We have 20,000 opportunities a day to come back to our breath and relax and be present with our mind And if you feel like you can remove your bolster and ease just a little more into your fold, remember you can keep your knees bent. The important thing is to just relax and feel comfortable and with no pain. And be here for a few more breaths. When coming out of this, come out of it extremely slow, staying in these forward folds, tense up the back. And now, after we do a forward fold, I'm going to gently come around to our belly, lie flat on the mat, and do a complementary back bend in Sphinx pose. Place your elbows directly under your shoulders. Make sure your toes are untucked. The top of your toes flat on the mat. Place your palms down on the mat. Spread your fingers and relax into your shoulders. And you can let your head hang heavy. And just breathe into the belly. And on your exhale, feel your lower spine relax towards the mat. And keep in mind, if this is too much, gently spread your elbows just a little bit and just come down a little more. And relax your head onto your hands. But I find the longer and more gentle you put your body into this pose, the more you're going to get out of it, as long as there's no pain. I'm here for a few more breaths. Gently relax your forehead to the mat. With your knees on the mat, push your way up into a tabletop position, and then eventually into a plank. We're going to come into Pigeon Pose and take your right knee and place it behind your right wrist, and your right foot behind your left wrist. And tuck your back left foot and gently crawl it back. Now, each of our bodies are different. Not just saying your body and my body, but each side of your body is different as well. So if you have a block and you need to place it under your hip, which I do, you could place it on the short side, the medium side, maybe even the tall side. Place that block under your hips, and if you can, with no pain, gently relax down to your elbows and your forearms. You can stack the hands and rest your forehead on there, or you can bring your forehead all the way to the mat. Keeping in mind to engage your ankle just a little bit on this one, your right ankle. We need to protect that right knee and keep it from twisting. And just breathe energy into that outer right hip, and that right thigh. And just focus on your breath. And let the gravity of your own body help your body. Yin yoga is quite different from a vinyasa flow where we're looking to engage the connective tissues and not the muscles, like our ligaments, our tendons, our fascia. Holding these poses for long periods of time and connecting it with your breath, you open up spots in your body that have been storing energy or basically hiding energy. And you actually have emotions and feelings inside those little locations where all that's stored. And sometimes yin yoga can be quite emotional for people. I've actually cried before during yin yoga practice, not knowing why. And then after learning and understanding and practicing yoga, I've come to the realization that our bodies really do store and hide all these things that we keep pushing down inside of us. That we just really need to open up and let go. And this process of yin yoga, what it does is the slow, long, deepening process of the pose will slowly allow those ligaments to open up and release all that energy that's been pent up. And just as a little reminder, keep in mind that these poses are not supposed to hurt in any way at all. And this is not a challenge. This is more of a focus with the mind, the body, and the breath. And stay here for a few more breaths. If your elbows were on the mat, slowly, gently push your way back up to your hands. Tuck the left toes under. Gently ease your left foot forward. And swing your right leg back. Feel that tension releasing. And back to plank. Bring your left leg in. Your left knee behind your left wrist. Your left foot behind your right wrist. And just relax here for a second. And breathe. If you're able to come down onto your forearms, go ahead and do so. If you need a block, which on my left side I do not. But so you can see where I'm using it on my right. Right here, that way I can just relax this whole hip into the ground. And just let gravity take over. If you did just this practice alone every evening before bed or when you get home from work, especially if you sit at a desk all day or if you sit in a vehicle all day, you're driving a truck or sitting at a desk, we need to work these areas out gently. And this is a really good complement for a vinyasa flow, which is more active and more dynamic and a lot more heat built up into the body, into the muscles. Here for a few more breaths. If you were down on your elbows and your forearms, go ahead and tuck your right toes back up under. Gently and slowly come back up to your palms. Inch your right foot and knee forward like an inchworm. Then swing your left leg back. And feel that tension coming out. Now relax all the way down to the mat. Your belly on the mat. Cross your forearms. And then you can relax your head onto your forearms for Alligator Pose. And remembering to stay with your breath. A lot of these yin yoga poses, your mind will always tend to wander about what happened yesterday or this morning, or maybe even what might be happening tomorrow or tonight. But if you focus on the breath, you will come right back to center. Check in with your body. Breathe energy into those spots that are calling for it. Gently come up off your forearms. And if you can, scoot to the left side of your mat, staying on your belly. And we want to roll over to our backs, staying in contact with the ground, with your mat, or your towel, whatever you're lying on. Pull your knees up into your chest as close as you can. Reset the spine. You can let the knees fall over to the right, keeping your shoulders flat on the mat. If your knees will not come all the way to the ground, that's okay. Set a block up under them. The important thing is to relax and not have any sharp pains in your back. We're trying to isolate the center of the back with this supine twist. You can extend your left arm out to your left side with your gaze focused over there. You can take your right hand, if you want a little more of a stretch, and just lay it on top of your left knee. And let gravity do its thing. A couple more breaths here. And when coming out of this pose, I like to bring my left arm back over, place my right hand under my knees, and gently bring them back to center with the aid of your arms. And pull your knees back into your chest. Reset the spine. And now let them fall over to the left. Extend your right arm out, with your gaze or your drishti facing to the right. And just relax. And breathe energy into the center of that spine. These supine twists are really good for our digestive system and releasing energy that's locked up between the vertebrae, inside of those ligaments, all those joints, twisting the fascia of the body, releasing all of the pent-up energy that we didn't know we had. Remembering to breathe into that area of the body. A couple more breaths here. And take your right arm and your gaze. Bring it back over to your right knee. And place your left hand under your left leg and bring your knees back to center. Give yourself a big hug. Reset the spine. And extend your feet out to the ends of your mat. Lay your palms facing up. And our final pose, Shavasana. And relaxing into the mat. Releasing that Ujjayi breath, our yogi breath. And coming back to a little bit more normal breath. And close your eyes and just let your body melt into the mat. Feel your shoulders relaxing. Your calves, your heels, your hip bones relaxing into the mat. And let your jaw relax. Remove the tip of your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And just let it relax. Breathe normally. We spend all day running and chasing and grocery shopping and kids and work. You never really take time for yourself till you actually sit alone with yourself. And once you sit alone with yourself and you realize what your body needs, you start wondering what you can do to help it. In my life, yoga has become essential, not just for my physical, but for my mental health as well. I remember the old me. It's not that I don't love the old me. I just don't like him very much. But without the old me, I wouldn't be where I am now. last breath here. We'll take our body and roll to the right side. And lay your arm out and rest your head on your shoulder. You can take your left arm, release all the energy. Gently come back up into easy pose. And thank your body and your mind for showing up to the mat today. Bring your hands to prayer or your third eye. And just know that the light and the love in me honors and respects the light and the love in you. Please take this throughout your day, your evening, into your work, with your family, your co-workers, your friends, and express the love and the gratitude you have for yourself with them. Namaste.